What inspired you to run for Congress? That's people don't just wake up one day and say, "Hey, I want to run for Congress."
Absolutely, it's not the way that I woke up. I feel like I didn't have a choice. And as an organizer in the past 6 or 7 years, we have protested, we have marched, we have organized, we've advocated, we've done everything that we possibly can to help the 99% of this country, the working class, the working poor, to move the needle an inch, but it's not enough. In this past year, the pandemic, there were so many opportunities at the congressional level, but not just to help us here in Nashville, but across the country. People are feeling the same urgency and desperation and not being met. And the reasons why we're missing the mark is because people are not listening to people, and that takes a special quality. And as an organizer, I have those special skills. So I couldn't sleep at night without running.
There you go. So what are the issues that you are running for, and what do you want to see change when you do get in office?
Well, yeah, as it being Pride Month, as an openly gay Black woman, LGBTQ is, it's not just sexual classification, but it's your identity, and it's also intersectional. As the LGBTQ nation, we are tired, we flawed, we're the working class, we're the working poor, we're the ones that are catching as much as housing injustice as anyone else. We care about the earth. So I'm pushing for the Green New Deal. The reason why I love the Green New Deal is because as a Black woman, and a person who's struggling, always working check to check, I have never had a chance to really chime in, but I care about the earth just as much as the next person does. So it gives the opportunity to take care of the earth, and it builds pathway out of poverties of so many groups. Another thing that I'm running for is housing justice. I'm running for healthcare. I think healthcare is something that we care about a lot in the LGBTQ community. Sure. It's something I thought about as a Metro employee. I worked for the city of Nashville for 14 years. And 8 years in 2014, 2015 is when they started having domestic partnerships. And that's really when we start thinking about how you have to carry me and my partner at the time, 2 health insurances and all these different things, and that's a cost as well. I'm already just on the city salary. So, those type of things are what's important to me.
When things are hitting home, especially in the 5th district, what are some of the issues that are facing the 5th district and where you want to represent?
A lot of issues. The state of Tennessee has been horrible. It's been very discriminatory against LGBTQ people. One of the things that happened here in the state of Tennessee this year is that they decided that LGBTQ history or issues cannot be taught in the public school system. Mm-hmm. And frankly, did the same thing for Black people. They say you can't teach critical race theory here either. So when I win this race and I make history, they won't be able to teach about me in the history books. So it's really just trying to retard some of the issues and legislation that's coming down from our state level.
Oh, Jason. On a personal level, though, I'm sure there's people watching right now that are interested in hearing about your coming out story. I think I always find it so inspiring as well when you hear, because we all come from different walks of life, different experiences, and some people have coming out stories that aren't as I would say bad as the next. But for yourself, what was your coming out story like for you?
Yeah, my coming out story, I guess, was funny or comical. I think it happened in 2 different ways. My first coming out, I think I was in 4th grade, and I was in school with a bunch of friends. And I told this girl she had to be my girlfriend. She put her hand on my shoulder, like, "Odessa, you gay? You can't be gay," or whatever. And I was like, "But you got to be my girlfriend." So at the lunch table, we had like this huge argument, and everyone was included in it about whether this girl should be my girlfriend or not. It's 50-50, And then again, when I was 16 and a half, I told my parents, I was like, "Hey, I like girls," and they were like, "We've been doing that. We're just waiting on you to say something." It's pretty much it,
That's so funny. That similar with me. My mom, she was like, "Okay, are we gonna have lunch now?" This is not breaking news. We're just waiting for you to have a news flash and for you to get it together. But with that said, though, I've talked, John Idarola is here as well. Me and him have both talked about LGBTQ plus issues and about me being Black in the LGBTQ plus and just the juxtaposition of non-POC and POC LGBTQ plus issues. And for us, Odessa, or for yourself, what do you find difficult about being gay and Black? Do you think it's more within our community, or do you think it's outside of our community, or is it a mixture of both? I think it's very hard to be gay and Black in the Black community, and now more than ever, I've experienced homophobia in a time where on social media, online, in conversation, we're all trying to assemble like the Avengers and fight Thanos, this horrible evil of people that are trying to take down marginalized groups of people, be it in our own backyards, our own homes, in our own communities, which that is the Black community. We're treated even worse. Has that been the same for you?
No, I do recognize it for Black men. For gay Black men, for trans men, especially in the transgender community, it's horrific, amongst Black people and how they're treated. But I would say the biggest issue that I've had is, I will say, fighting for the working class. There's still like this. Anti-Blackness runs in everything, when you start to talk about that, and when it intersects into like what are good business practices, sometimes that can also intersect into like LGBTQ issues, when we start thinking about it that way. I think that's been one of the hardest areas for me to break into, is literally just fighting for equality, because as you know, as a LGBTQ man, you're not just that. You're so many other things, like all the other justices, they affect you as well. So when we start talking about raising wages, when we start talking about putting regulations on corporations who have these oppressive laws that are coming down on working class people, on working poor people, I think it gets really hard, because sometimes it's like, if I have to ever take off my, Black hat to put on my LGBTQ hat, then there's an injustice within that as well, right? And it's the same thing with my advocacy hat, like advocating for what's right is just advocating for what's right, so.
Regardless of gay, Black, white, straight, yeah.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.